Okay, so I'm at the point where I can start thinking about putting these wishbones onto this frame. I still need to weld in these diagonal pieces here. I'll do that in a bit. But here's the lower wishbone. It has these 1/2 inch bushings, and I've bought, let me just grab them. I've bought some 12mm ones like this. So I need to knock these in, and then I can take my 12mm bolt and put this through. So we'll do that just to see how tight it is. I think it is going to be a little bit tight, but I don't know if I should just add some grease or whether it will just free up a little bit as it gets worn, but we'll see. Well, they're a bit tight in here, but hopefully they free up as they go and I won't need to add any grease. So I can't get the torch in as far as I want in that angle in there. Let me just zoom in so you can see I've added a gusset, and I'll do the same on the other side. Okay, so I've got this 1/2 inch 16 gauge tube which I'm going to use to support basically these corners here. So I'm going to put some here, put some behind here, and also support the ends here for the upper wishbones as well. Well, I've just been adding in some of the support structure like this for this cradle here, and I've just come across a problem which has made me a little bit upset, but it's par for the course. Mistakes are going to be made sometimes. So what the mistake is, I've just test fitted this lower wishbone just to check the clearance, and this diagonal here, the support structure, is completely in the way, so this is going to have to be removed for this to work. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add a cross internally and remove these. They're just going to have to go, unfortunately. Very frustrating. Even if it's there's just no way to make it work, I don't think. Good morning, race fans. Okay, well, you can see the car, it's still on its side. Obviously we've added quite a lot more weight than we had before, so it's getting a bit harder to manipulate on the workbench. But I just wanted to give you an update video to show the progress that I made yesterday and what I'm going to do today. So I've now triangulated all these portions here with this 1/2 inch 16 gauge steel tube. So basically I've just put it in all the places that I think are going to be in tension. With the suspension arm here, obviously that's going to push up, so that's why I've got these rods here, and likewise on the upper wishbone as well. Unfortunately, as I said yesterday or in a previous video, I'm going to have to chop these out because this is getting in the way of the lower wishbone. A bit of a miscalculation on my part. I thought it would miss it. One of the issues is I actually installed this cradle about 1/2 inch further back than it should have been. Not a big deal. It wouldn't have saved us from this problem anyway. But the change is basically going to be to add some structure behind here, so that basically as the car, you can imagine with the suspension being attached, the force is going to want to push that frame up. So we'll add some structure so that it supports the frame internally. But yeah, so first task today is to chop this out, and then we'll start actually adding the steering rack and the tabs for the wishbones, etc. I'm going to add all those bits in first before I actually do the internal structure, because then I know once the steering rack's been located, I know how much space I've got to get underneath it and actually add that structure in, because obviously I want it to go up as high as possible to support it at the highest point.
I think that's major cock-up number 3. The first one being not leaving enough space for my feet when I move the pedal box. And the second one was more ignorance than a mistake, but that's actually having issues with the brazed joints, if you remember.
So there's my wishbone. You see I've temporarily located these tabs here for the pickups for the wishbones. So I've got 4 of them in a row. Need to modify them a bit just to make sure they fit correctly, but basically going to use this wishbone itself to site these pieces. Inside there are some nylon bits, but I've got some nylon spacers, so they can be sacrificed if they get damaged by the heat. But yeah, I'll pop those in place. I'll start welding them in. There we go. I've got one on, look. The wishbone tags in on both sides. What I've done is I've only welded them on one side just because I want the tabs to fail if there's going to be an impact. So I'm hoping that will do that job. The next job I need to do now is fill in these portions like that. Since I've installed this cradle about 1/2 inch back from where it should be, I've created these square extensions here. So effectively what I've done is I've moved the front wheels back 1/2 inch, so I can use these to move it out. So I'm going to weld these on each corner for the upper uprights or the upper wishbones, and then we'll start making the tabs for the upper wishbones as well. Okay, so now it's time to do the upper wishbones. I've cut out these little tags, 8 of them, 4 for each side. I'm going to add them to here. I've made my little extension here as well, so they'll go on there. So the next thing I need to do is drill some holes in here, round them off, and then attach these to the upper wishbone for the upper wishbones. And then what I'll do is I'll put some more boxing in here just to strengthen it a bit, because it's only 16 gauge steel, it's quite thin. So I'll put some more strengthening on top, and hopefully that gives us a nice double shear connection for this upper wishbone. There we go. I made all my tags. Handmade. Ideally these would have been laser cut, but I haven't got the time. But they're okay. Well, I've run out of time today, but you can see where I'm going. That's the upper wishbone there. So that'll get welded in tomorrow. We'll do the same on the other side, and then lower and upper wishbones are in.
Someone actually asked me how I get so much done in such a small amount of time. I don't actually know, because I seem to spend most of my time playing on my phone. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm definitely not playing Candy Crush.